Yeah, I'm good.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this nice little Tencent LPL coverage in English, brought to you by Games in Asia and Gosu Gamers. I am Tasty Nubbins with Soldra, and that first game, definitely a lot to talk about, most certainly, and hashtag throws it Baron, definitely making it happen for YG, and now their chances, they could try to pull away, but if WE Academy goes 2-0, they're gonna be in sole last place alone.
Yeah, and PYL deserves the MVP. Did they already hand out the MVP
Yes, they did.
award? Oh, who was it for?
I didn't see. I
Okay,
was, I was
I
too
hope it
busy.
was.
I was too
I hope
busy
it was.
fiddling.
I hope it was PYL because PYL really deserved, the MVP award for that game. He played extremely well, and not only his black shields because those were on point too, and his black shields were what his black shields on Morgana were what denied a lot of fights or a lot of the initiation that came out from the side of Young Glory. Just the way he was able to zone off so many opponents with with his ultimate, with the dark bindings, he played extremely well in all phases of the game. Given how behind they were, LGD Gaming also warded quite well too. So, you know, just yeah, PYL definitely deserves the MVP of that game. Hopefully they show it again because I really want to see who got it. Wayless might have gotten it because Wayless, played the team fights
For
extremely
sure
well.
did.
But then hopefully PYL got it because he deserves full credit for LGD's comeback. And just to go in a little, it's hard to pinpoint analysis on that game just because of how obvious Young Glory's problems were, and I think it's become fairly clear to our audience that YG was tilting ever since they had lost the initial fight where Yansier really misplaying on his Leona. Just the members of YG grew more and more unconfident, and they eventually became so desperate for picks that they ignored the fact that they had almost no vision control on not EDG, LGD's side of the map, and just try to burn everything on XQ. And if you burn that many skills onto one person and don't get the kill, then that's basically a recipe for disaster. And we saw that multiple times where Yancy would be extremely trigger happy with a solar flare, but then the rest of his teammates wouldn't be able to follow up, and thus they weren't able to get any grab any relevant objectives. Or, if they did grab one kill, they just ignored the fact that there were still high priority targets left on the side of LGD, and that's when you have the kind of situation where the members of Young Glory started doing Baron while champions like Kha'Zix and Ziggs were up on the side of LGD. So well played by LGD to instigate that comeback despite Young Glory taking control for I think about 90% of that game.
So if you're YG right now, your confidence is definitely just
Yeah.
going underground. There's what can YG do now to bounce back from this and try to split the set at 1-1? Because LGD, they have YG right now right where they want them. They've got their confidence probably at a bottom level, and LGD's like, yo, 8,000 gold down. Your comp is better than ours as the game progresses. We still managed to win. What can YG do to bounce back from this?
Okay, so what YG needs to do is that it's not there wasn't any particular problems with their picks first of all, or the way that they played, or the way that they strategized in the early game, because the members of Young Glory seem to realize that should the game go past 30 minutes, that they would have a relatively easy win in their hands, and that all they needed to do to avoid a significant deficit within the first 20 to 25 minutes, within the first 20 to 30 minutes of the game, was to ward extremely well and look for picks. And that's what the members of YG tried to do, and that's why, as I said before, Yansier was so trigger happy, was so so confident in just throwing out Solar Flare after Solar Flare, Zenith Blade after Zenith Blade, trying to get any kind of advantage around the map by picking someone off from the side of LGD. Now, now LGD has first pick advantage, so you know that they're going to ban the LeBlanc. They're probably going to ban the Yasuo as well. So, LGD plays very well on blue side, quite frankly, and I think most of their wins do come on blue side. So it's going to be really interesting what LGD decides to do. They might even try to bait out a Yasuo right here and then give it to Wayless. So.
That looks exactly like it's what they're doing. Kassadin is banned out, so they banned out the Jarvan instead, and they took that one down to the brim. Bottom line, there was 1 second left on the timer, so now ban out the Jarvan. Yasuo is still open. Are they going to give it to Wayless, or are they going to hand it over? We've got the timer taken away. Braum was left open as well, and he will be locked in. So now giving that one to PYL, he's going to have a much bigger impact.
Right. So Young Glory should I think they should they should lock in the Yasuo right here, and I would say Lulu, but if not Lulu, then Kaz. Oh, okay. I feel very good about myself.
Nicely done.
So. I am a little bit ahead, but I did not see that before I made the statement, I would like to say. So, but, the fact that they locked in the Kazakhs does mean that LGD does get the Lulu and the Lucian for their side, for XQ and 17, respectively. And it is important to note that both of these players played fairly fantastically from the 30 to 45-minute mark to keep their team within the game. I mean... Wayless was playing Wayless, who's typically known as the main carry for the side of LGD, was playing, very standard, very safely on his Ziggs. But XQ and 17 were making a lot of things happen, and I think that their teamfight positioning and their quick twitch mechanical ability is really what won LGD a lot of fights. So YG getting 2 more power picks, Jax, very strong in the top lane. I have a small issue with some LPL players playing Jax, but number 1 has shown himself to be one of the carries of Young Glory when allowed to be, and they do lock in the Leona again, so hopefully Yansir does not replicate the total disaster that was his last Leona game. He really needs to step up his play this game. So
now with that, LGD now have the opportunity, if they want to try to send the Lulu in the mid lane with Wayless, they can, even though it's probably a top lane pick. They could try to go for a preferential matchup against that Jax early on. Obviously a champion like Renekton, probably not the best pickup, but is still very, very viable and a good pickup against Jax. But they lock in instead Diana and Elise. So we saw,
Diana, oh my goodness.
Diana, give it to me straight.
Yeah, Diana, okay, so Diana is fairly strong against Yasuo, straight up. Just first of all, I think that Diana is a very solid pick against Yasuo, and I think that is a very funny power pick coming out of Wayless. Wayless also does very well on these hard carry assassin-y type champions. Back in the LSPL, he played assassins exquisitely. He played them really well. So I'm really excited to see what Wayless does with this Diana. Some Dianas I see in solo queue decide to run teleport even when in the mid lane. It looks like Wayless is going to run ignite, probably to put a little bit more pressure onto Diangoon. I'm really just, the Tristana pick is interesting too, and we'll get to that obviously, but I'm kind of licking my chops right now at this Diangoon Yasuo versus Wayless Diana matchup, because that's going to be really, really good.
What's prided upon Wayless is that he has such a versatile champion pool, contrary to pretty much everybody else from LGD. So this Diana pick now, how's he going to handle it? How has he been playing it? I mean, how is he going to fare off? This is, like you said, a good matchup for the Diana. So we will see how he handles. We'll see what YG do to counter. As the pick ban phase has ended, loading screen is there, and you can see that camera zooming out just a little bit. So he should be into game very, very soon, ladies and gentlemen. And now we get to see, can YG split the set 1-1 with LGD, or will LGD, after a nice win 40 minutes in, despite being down 8,000 gold, go for a 2-0 over YG and keep YG just lurking at the bottom of the standings?
Yeah, so I mean, I think the reason why LGD picked a champion like Tristana, despite the fact that if you're very good at Diana, you can actually use your E, which is like I don't know how to describe it, and I forget what the skill is called, but it is our E, and you can actually displace Tristana mid rocket jump. So there is that counterplay possible for Wayless when he's trying to assault the back line of Young Glory. However, Young Glory is basically saying with this Tristana pick that they don't think that the frontline threats of LGD are enough to merit another pick, to merit one of the more traditional AD carries uh like Twitch, maybe
Lucian.
even Zhenlong, yeah, maybe even Zhenlong's Vayne, or well, Lucian had already gone out in the
Yeah,
rotation,
exactly.
or maybe even Caitlyn for Zhenlong. Another interesting thing about about the Tristana is that she peels for herself very well in the late game. We all know how good Tristana is in the late game, but her early game is pretty terrible. So based on this, might be a reactive, fairly a reactive composition based on what YG saw in the first game. YG saw Young Glory, the members of Young Glory saw that LGD, even with a Ziggs Lucian comp, weren't very aggressive in the early game, and they could be saying, if they weren't aggressive in the early game with the comp that they had, and this is even a less aggressive comp in the early game, then maybe it'll be fine for us to run the Tristana and be fairly safe in the early game, not get steamrolled too hard, and let our AD carry, let our top laner, 17 on that Jax, sorry, number 1 on that Jax,
no.
let Dion Goon get to the points where they need to be.
So like you said last time, YG with crisp board coverage, but I think one just might be enough here. Is he going to get cut out? Yeah, he's getting cut out and wrecked in the face.
Yeah.
And first blood goes over to 17 for LGD. So with that one nifty trinket ward, they pick up the kill and spot out there's 4 wards down there just for YG, including a ping. 5.
Fortunately, fortunately for the side of Young Glory, this is 4.1. And I mean, sorry, not 4. I'm an idiot.
No.
Not
No.
4. We're not that.
No.
This is 4.9, not 4.11. So some of the changes regarding early game gold have not been yet placed into effect in the Chinese LPL. So that the gold lead is a little bit tempered. But LGD coming out with a nice advantage. Hopefully, Diangun isn't affected too much by that early deficit.
Well, everybody's got 100% kill participation so far for LGD. Assist on everybody and the kill, of course, to 17 up in the top lane. So that's definitely going to give them a little bit of a head start as all of the lanes going to progress. Both junglers going on their clearing routes. Looks like we're going to see 2v1 matchups with, of course, the top laners lurking in between, courtesy of their junglers. And now I think our featured matchup has to be again in the mid lane just because
it
of
really does.
what a matchup this is right now. As you can see, they're both duking it out. And Dian Goon already taking a tower shot. Both of these players have Ignite as well. So anything goes in this mid lane. And barring hardcore jungler intervention, don't think it's going to be... It is going to be a bloody battle.
Yeah, I mean, just because of the way Diana's kit works, and Diana is a champion that doesn't have much mobility until level 6, when she's able to, proc the reset on the cooldown reset on her ultimate. I think is it called like Star? I don't know. It's not called Starfall. I don't even know what Diana's skills are called. I haven't seen it so long in a competitive game, but so Wayless will have a lot of kill pressure until then, whereas Dian Goon can make some things happen. But it does look like Wayless is zoning out Dian Goon very well, and it seems like I mentioned before that Wayless might be experienced in this matchup. This is definitely a pocket pick. It's definitely a counter pick on the Diana into Yasuo. So hopefully for LGD, Wayless plays this matchup to perfection and capitalizes on Dian Goon's on the early maybe CS deficits that Dian Goon seems to be building up, or Wayless seems to be earning.
So the first dragon, YG, again, take it early, 4 minutes in. Earlier than their last game's first dragon, but even still, YG are opening up with solid map control, solid objective control. And now They get to group up, and it looks like heading to the mid lane. Wayless definitely
God.
caught a little bit out, but it is going to potentially turn. This could turn into a 3v3. They're both tagging Ignite on both of them over the wall. PYL getting it knocked up, taken down, tied at 1-1. And now from the back, that's going to be the Kazakhs jumping in. Look at this trade, ladies and gentlemen. The Lulu down for the count as well, and it turns into, simply enough, a 3-for-1. I'm reading this right. A 3-for-1. Are you wow.
So
but it progressed upon fight. Very nicely done.
So what happened was that the I don't even know what it's called. Jiangun's Yasuo was able to get a small, last breath proc, I guess. He was able to knock up PYL. So PYL was very ineffective during that fight. Also, and I don't know why Yansir's tanking. Yeah, Yansir should not have been tanking turret right there. Also, and 17 wanted to secure those kills, so he was forced to flash over the wall. Unfortunately, he only got Diangun, and just really poorly played. I don't know, Wayless, went that far in. He should not have tanked those two turret shots. I guess he thought he wasn't in a range, and I guess he wanted to make some kind of play happen with PYL because PYL was ready to flash over the Wraith Camp wall, but Diangun just outplayed them both, frankly. So really well played from the side of YG, and just a nice early lead.
Very big, very good early lead now. So right now it's going to open up a 1,000 gold lead for YG. The top lane tier 1 has just been getting poked away by XQ the entire time, and as you can see, he does have a minor CS lead over his counterpart. So it is going to be right now. Yinfu is lurking in the bottom lane with Zhenlong and Yancer, so would be a 3v2, but as you can see, Quan has made his way down as well. Might be a 3v3 engagement. Looks like they will try to go for this one. A half L twist to start the fight as well as another AD carry. Teleport coming in. The jumps up from Yinpu. Yancer picks up PYL. And this one, Quan is now on the run in that 2-for-0 engagement. And Quan could be potentially caught out of position now. And a jump over the wall. But even still, 5-2. YG again, another very strong early lead. And potentially way less. And Diangun duking it out. And look at that. Oh my god, Wayless is so low. He wants to go for it. He's got nowhere to go. Doesn't get it. Take it down. Wayless picks up the kill and barely makes it out. I don't even believe this right now. Bloodbath. Oh my god. The plays are just too strong right now, ladies and gentlemen. 5-3. And now look at that one. Zhenlong barely makes it out. Cocoon does land as well, so he's lurking in the depths, but don't think anybody's going to come up on this one. So right now, that opens up now a 900 gold lead, and are just about fluctuating. The top tier 1 turret was taken down by XQ, and he has just been lone up in this top lane. The Lone Ranger farming up this entire time, has a nice 18-20 CS lead over his counterpart. Took down the turret, so kind of evening things out on that front, giving a little bit of an edge to LGD. And now Wayless returns to the lane with a kill refreshed up, going for that stinger as well. In a great position to start it out just on the overextension in the mid lane from Diangun. Hubo Malad, are you with me? Hubo Malad's not with. Are you with
hi.
me? Hubo
Okay,
Malad?
my microphone was off for some reason. So the score.
I was wondering.
Yeah, the score goes from 3-2 to 5-3. So first of all, a very nice play. Zhenlong was attack moving perfectly during that fight. So very nice play for Zhenlong to pick up 1 or 2 kills. I can't see right now. So at least 1 kill on that Tristana and get ahead early. And that play coming out from Diangun, you could see the hesitation. Like Diangun,
I don't want to go for it.
Yeah, Diangun, because he had the knock up procced on his Q, on his Steel Tempest, and you could see like the indecision in his head. Like he was thinking, like, do I want to go for this? Do I not? And the problem was that he thought, he was taking turrets during the decision-making process. So despite the fact that he went for the that third Steel Tempest kill onto Wayless's Diana, I guess he didn't use a sweeping blade quickly enough, and the turret ended up taking him out. I think he tanked something like 3 turret shots during that fight. So really just mechanically sloppy from Diangun. And I think, I mean, even with that death though, this mid lane is still very even. Again, we said that this mid lane would be our kind of our lane
Future
to
matchup.
watch, our match, yeah, our matchup of the game, and I think it's turning out to be that.
So in the top lane now, it's a 3v1, 17 versus the world. He's not level 6 yet. They're
Wrecked.
going to totally go for this one. The stun up, the counter strike, getting wrecked, ladies and gentlemen. And that is the kill now over in the jungle to Yinfu. So, I mean, Quan tried to make his way up there, but he just no dice. Could not have up in time. And now again a jump. Look at that one. Zhenlong forced to jump up and out. The bottom lane, tier 1 turret has gone down. It's 2-0. LGD have the lead pretty much there. 6-3 though in favor of YG on the kills, and a 500 gold lead to them as well. So Wayless taking a counter jungle, blew up, and now here we go, going for a stun. Can they get it? That is the culling being channeled out, and that is the kill right now for XQ. So now LGD looking to pressure out the tier 2 bottom lane turret already 10 minutes into the game. That's a pretty big start for them right now. And the gold, again, still pretty skewed. 700 in favor of YG. It is 2-1 in turrets, soon to be potentially 3-1. As Yancer does make his way down, so we'll be able to just kind of keep that turret chugging for a little bit longer.
I mean, despite the fact that they are losing in kills, yeah, certainly. I mean, LGD is doing a lot of things to keep themselves in this game. They're giving a lot of farm to their carries. They're making really aggressive plays, and I mean, both of these teams are just playing really bloodthirstily. I wouldn't have expected this, and I don't think the members of YG expect this, considering their team composition, considering what happened last game. LGD played the first 20 to 30 minutes of the previous game, the game that they won in the comeback, really softly. They played that early game with a hands-off approach. But it looks like both YG and LGD aren't going to take no for an answer this game, coming out with really nice early game kills. And obviously it would have been nice if some of the mistakes, particularly the one that we saw in the mid lane, were absent. But I think every Chinese LPL game has at least one or two of those moments.
So right now, everything is kind of chilling out. Dragon is back and live. We saw the first one go to YG. It was very early. PYL might be getting caught out here. But dash up and in from XQ as well. 3 stacks already. One more for a stun. And Zhenlong definitely doesn't want to get caught up in all this. They do spot out Quan with a nicely placed ward. So YG not going to be falling for any shenanigans right now. But again, that Dragon is live. And Dian Goon did get a little bit of ward coverage. Try to take one down. So with a 1,000 gold lead, YG, are they going to pressure the Dragon? I mean, both teleports are up from both top laners, and 17 is just split pushing to holy hell right now. So could be a potential 5v5, maybe a 4v4 depending on how this mid lane engage goes. Lordy, both of them very low, took it out. Last breath, down for the count, way less falls. And Dian Goon solo killing it out.
Very nice kill from Dian Goon. We might even see another fight in the bottom lane depending on how this trade goes.
I mean, they're looking for it. Yancer's trying to go in for it. Does get a stun up onto XQ, but again, the shield's blocking it out. Quan from the back. Double knockup. Look at that one. Yancer actually gets the dodge of the cocoon. Teleports are coming out, and Yancer is the target. He will be falling down. Quan picks up the kill, and they're turning around onto PYL, but Summerhill secures safety as long as Wild Growth as well. And now they're on the aggressive. Yinfu trying to run away, but Dian Goon's making an appearance down here, ladies and gentlemen. Windwall is there. Static shift proc for the ages. Jumping up and in, and that is a kill to the Jacks at the top lane. Number 1, making the plays. Dash around, though. Dian Goon trying to clean things up and make it happen. Picks up 1, dumping in. Picking up 2, 11-6. YG make a nice exchange. 4 down for 1, and that is going to be the Dragon to them as well, and their gold lead's going to expand even more.
Dian Goon definitely does not want his team to lose this game. And really nice roam. You have to wonder again, and we're going to see a replay right here while on the side of our screen. It looks like that Wayless is going on to Dian Goon. I don't know if he's going to be able to get the kill. But just, first of all, the Unbreakable from PYL was really on point. I mean, he's been playing well this whole game, this entire series, and he just takes a lot of damage. But the story of that fight was really Dian Goon coming all the way down from the mid lane, getting there right in time to make some plays, and just using Sweeping Blade and Steel Tempest on anybody, getting the knockups at critical points. Just what a monster on that champion. Dian Goon is really impressing me with his class right now. And you obviously, you guys saw it on the side of your screen, but it does look like Yancer was able to prevent Dian Goon's death. But despite good movement from both XQ and PYL, it looks like YG are just completely in control of these team fights. And I mean, I think one would think that Yangun's Yasuo is the reason behind it. This guy is blue buff too, so he has the additional cooldown reduction. I mean, he's a monster. Another thing that we haven't yet talked about is how much free time number one has gotten in this top lane. I mean, he's frozen. He's frozen this lane incredibly. And as much as I think 17 would like him to let it go. I think he's going to keep the lane frozen at his own turret.
Oh.
Nick, you didn't even laugh, man. Come on, what the hell? I'm kind of disappointed in you.
Oh, man. That was too good for me to laugh. Just too good for me to laugh, my boy. Too good for me to laugh. So now the Braum ultimate is down off of that, showing the mid lane. And again, LGD trying to aggress upon this mid lane tier 1. It's half HP. They are sieging it down as much as they possibly can. Solar Flare is actually going to get a slow 17, taking a bit of damage, execute the target in question, and getting to the 80 carry very, very quickly is definitely what you want to do. Down for the count, but look at this clumping last breath as well being used up, and that is going to be Diangoon picking up kills, a jump back up and in though, and this one's looking really good right now for YG, picking it up, 2 down for them, 5 down for LGD, and that is an ace. Yeah. YG 16-8, making it happen this time around. They don't want to go 0-2. They want to split it 1-1.
I think Zhenlong only picked up 1 kill during that fight, but Zhenlong on his Tristana played that so well. You'll see it on the replay. First of all, Yancy had a really good ultimate to split the entire team, despite the fact that he didn't necessarily hit anyone with the Solar Flare. And then Zhenlong just gets so much free time alone on the side of this fight. I mean, absolutely none of the threats on the side of LGD decided that Zhenlong was a worthy enough target, to demand their attention. And then when that Tristana decided it was apt, he decided to rocket jump in, completely clean the fight, get a few resets. Just really nice play from both Diangun and Zhenlong, showing that they are the real carries right now. Every member of Young Glory is so strong. They're 5,000 gold up on a Tristana, Yasuo, and Jax composition. They're already 5,000 gold up, so they're really strong right now. And the key is to not fall into the same trap, to constantly ensure that they have enough ward coverage on every single on the LGD side of the map, so that they don't over pursue any kills, or they don't get caught by any quote unquote fanatic pushes, so to speak. So YG has to make sure that they ride this high that Diangun and Zhenlong are putting them on and ward correctly. And I think at this point it's really up to both it's really up to both Quan is the jungler for LGD. It's both up to Yinfu and Yanseer to make sure the ward coverage is good.
17 used the wild growth, but gets destroyed up there. Yanser picks up the kill now. Quan and Yinfu duking it out, mano a mano, not going to happen. So solo kill up and in, but a knockup ultimate picked up PYL. So both mid laners down for the count now. Support just making it happen. Kind of cleaning up for his mid laner there, but 18-9. And YG looking to take down this tier 2 top lane turret, pushing the wave up. Zhenlong's just in the mid lane, kind of just kicking it a little bit. And the gold lead 6,000 now for YG. Zenith played up onto Quan. Teleports are coming in. Yancer might have gotten a little, not the most preferential engaged. The calling being channeled out as well. But here we go, and that is going to be simply enough. Number 1 down for the count. So it's 18-10. And now LGD on the offensive, on a little bit of a botched engagement from YG. They probably wanted to go out, but again, Yancer decided it was time for a little bit of an engage. So jumps up. The mid lane tier 1's very low. And LGD, if they don't get that out of this, then they should probably reconsider their strategies.
Yeah, Yanseer really, I don't know what he was doing right there. And we're going to see the little 1v1 outplay. Diangun again plays it so well. And that fight really went to the wire, as you can see. PYL is able to snipe that. I think the skill is called Unbreakable.
Boom!
So PYL is able to snipe that kill. Good for him. They're able to at least get the revenge. And I think that is shutdown gold onto Diangun. So hopefully LGD can use, PYL can use that gold to invest in some additional wards and keep themselves in this game. But again, YG was eventually able to, they had the 2v1 exchange before Yanseer had to engage again. So it looks like that they'll posture around this dragon, maybe go back and get some items, and think about warding and starting to ward and bait Baron, or at least split push with, they have, even the Tristana can split push at this point. So they have 3 threats that can solo anyone on the map. So they can think about doing anything right now.
Yep, they're just going to take this dragon uncontested 100%. And YG banging on more cylinders than the Blue Man group right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's 18-10, and they've got one heck of a lead right now. Let's hope it doesn't go the same route as it did last time. But, I mean, they know history. They're not going to be destined to repeat it. So they will back off after that dragon. Expand their goal lead now to 6,300, 6,300-ish. 3-3 on turrets, 18-10 on the kill margins.
And I just want to say that this is the first time I've ever seen a jungle Kha'Zix build Sword of the Occult. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I didn't even know that item was available.
He's got 7 kills. If he's not building a Sword of the Occult, I mean, that's
yeah,
a very,
he has a
very
Hex
good
Drinker,
item.
and he has the Hex Drinker and the Mercury Chest as well. I mean, every single... And it really, I mean, if we're talking about how well Yinfu is playing this game, I don't think his jungle pressure has been anything special, but you really have to point to how bad that early game dive was when they gave Yinfu 2 really nice kills, including one onto the jungler, so that basically reset his double buffs. And so he was able to, you know, kind of clear creeps to perfection, but we might see another pick onto XQ, and I don't think that he's going to live right here.
Sitting in a chair, getting solar flared up.
Yeah.
That's probably not a good way on South Philly. Wait. Knockup's coming in. He's still going to go down, though. Yangoon, now PYL, trying to pop out a little bit of a shield to save the day.
The
Teleport's
Jax.
coming in, and this could be a 3-on-2, but even still, trying to get a Counter-Strike jump in. Void Assault as well. 17 could be caught out of position. Getting Zenith played up. I don't know what the hell clunky stuff that was. Yangoon solo kills out PYL, and even still, that turns into a 2 for none. Jumps up, and way less trying to duke it out. Buster Shot being used, but even still, Zhenlong tanking a lot of damage. Forced to use that Summoner's Heal. He's still very low. Will be falling down courtesy of Good Guy 17. And now Quan forced to flash away as well, but a jump back in. Wild Growth being used up and channeled. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Jump up and in. Windwall using very nicely, basically catching that entire entry point. And now it's 21-11. Jax picks up a kill for himself onto Quan. And
Yeah,
YG,
I mean-
21-11.
Yeah, and that's a slight drawback of having, 9 assists on your AD carry instead of, having those turned into kills. But still, whatever LGD does, for the next 5 minutes, I think YG will still firmly be in control of this game. 8,000 gold at the 21-minute mark is absolutely massive. I mean, I don't know, especially given how, and are they going to get a kill onto Jiang right here? It looks like they
certainly
will.
trying. And they
Yeah.
will. Well, yeah, they'll be able to pick it up. I mean, he went down with a fight for sure, taking
Yeah,
XQ
he
to half
did.
HP, but they do end up getting the kill on him. So now goes over to PYL though.
Yeah, so despite some of these 20 to 30 minute hiccups, I still think that YG really has firm control of this game. The goal will really be Baron, because obviously Zhenlong's Tristan is only level 12, so she doesn't have the max max attack range on her auto attacks yet. What that means is that despite how good the split pushing is, they're really going to wait until the 30 to 35 minute mark to really try to pressure the LGD split push, because YG's not very good at it, and LGD is fairly good at setting picks actually. So what I think YG should do is they should be camping the jungle, warding, maintaining vision control, blocking out Baron, and just trying to be setting picks of their own. They have a lot of mobility in this composition. They have a Jax and a Kha'Zix, and they have Jianggoon's Yasuo as well. So they have a lot of pick potential, and I think the key right now is execution. Execution is really important, and ward coverage.
Yep, YG just got spotted out trying to sneak a Baron, but they will take down the ward, and potential maybe going for catch. 17 extended out to split in this bottom lane, and there are two members, Diangoon and Yancer, maybe duking it out with Wayless. He's going to try to knock them both up, but Solar Flare gets the stun, and Wayless going to pop the zone. Used to be a bit cheeky, but he will be falling down here just right there. Diangoon picks up the kill, so it's 22-12, and I mean, they could try to pressure a tier 2. They could try to go for Baron right now, and it looks like Baron will actually be engaged up by number 1 and Ian Fu. Oh man, the knockups just purely up and happening. And Yancer tanking a little bit of damage. Gonna get taken down right here, and that's gonna be the kill over to 17. Baron again still getting peeled on there very low. Will they get the Baron and be able to escape? Kha'Zix picks it up courtesy of Smite. And now YG just on the run. PYL flashing to get a slow, and he will get a little bit. Counter-Strike being used up. Number 1 Gonna just jump over the wall. Nicely done. And that means YG, they might sacrifice one for the good of the team, and it will be Dian-Goon. But can he take one with him? That is the question, because he's on the run, ladies and gentlemen. Over the wall. This could be a little bit bad. Dian-Goon dashing it all the way through.
Oh my goodness.
Dian-Goon.
Oh god.
What's he? Is he going to go for the solo kill right now? Trying to go for Quan. Quan's pretty low already, and he wants to make this happen, but he's not going to be able to get any dice whatsoever. And that is XQ picking up the kill.
Yeah, he did bait out. I mean, good effort by Dian-Goon to give his teammates as much time as possible to posture around in lanes and make sure that the members of LGD couldn't take any significant objectives off of how low the members of Young Glory were after that Baron. But you know, Dian-Goon, he did burn a wild growth. Dian-Goon is very strong right now. He's in fact, I mean, he's a monster right now, despite being, despite having 7 deaths to his name, which is half of LGD's kills, surprisingly. So, YG is so ahead right now. Again, you know, YG's tower siege isn't the best. So the idea is, you know, how creatively can YG maneuver around the map and bait LGD into a bad rotation. It's either that or, you know, you have the Curse versus Cloud9 situation today in which you just wait for your top laner, number 1 on that Jax, to amass 6 items and then split push all day. So those are your 2 options right now. Hopefully we go with the former, because I don't know if I want to watch number 1 build all, you know, what, he has 3 items left, so I don't know if I want to watch number 1 do all of that.
So Dian-Goon taking out a ward there. The Dragon last time went to YG, of course. It's 22-14 right now, and definitely escalating their gold lead even more. We're still tied at 3, and it is a baroned up YG. Dian-Goon gave his life for the common good, pro bono, but trying to aggress right now in the bottom lane, and YG are all here. They've got a couple of minions to come in this push with a wave just coming in slowly from behind. Split pushing number 1 up in the top lane. Trying to keep 17 at bay. Both teleports are indeed up for those laners, so the turret's actually getting melted pretty quick, just below now a third of its HP. And LGD do get a little bit of a successful hold for now, but that stronghold is definitely just getting weaker and weaker. And LGD potentially want to engage.
Even more sad about the situation is the fact that at least when they're in a 4-man cell like this, nearly the entirety of, oh my god, they might go into Zhenlong right here. Yeah, that was a misposition.
Jump up. Zhenlong's getting engaged on teleports there, but he is able to jump out. Now Solar Flare stun up onto PYL, but jump all the way to the back. Quan taking a lot of damage. Look at the answer. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Wild Growth is there. Dian-Goon 4-man knockup. Look at the damage, ladies and gentlemen. Dian-Goon just making the plays. Triss getting 1, Triss getting 2, Jax with the other. Jump over the wall. Turret is down for the count, and that is going to be 4 down right now. Lulu is the target in question, and you can tell Zhenlong wants to take this one all the way. Waiting on the jump. Will it come? That is the question. Looks like he's going to let it be. But anyway, inhibitor turret being pressured, 26-14. This could be all she wrote with these 20-second timers, but I don't think it will be. So YG picking up at least an inhib for their troubles and a 4 for no engagement.
Oh my Dian-Goon. First of all, YG juggled damage so well right there. What happened, and you'll see it in this replay, was that, okay, so Zhenlong, obviously, that's a slight positional error. But, you know, Yin Fu and Yanxi were able to engage on the entire team. They tanked a bunch of turret damage, but that basically let Dian-Goon go in and get the 4-man knock up into a last breath, and just beautiful mechanics. They're able to juggle turret damage, you know, really, and they're able to get the inhibitor turret as well. So just such nice play coming out from YG. And, you know, if any of our, you know, if any international teams are watching, this is how you juggle damage. Because I watched the North American LCS for the first time, like in like 1 or 2 weeks, and North American teams team fight very badly, and they don't juggle damage at all. They don't fight creatively. The mechanical ability is not as high as it could be. So, I mean, that was Dian-Goon really, you know, just the amount of faith that Yanxi and Yin Fu placed into their teammates, that if they went and tanked the initial burst of damage, that their teammates would follow up, was really amazing right there. And I think that it should serve as an example. You know, obviously YG's not the best team, but it should serve as an example of how to really team fight.
Yeah, I haven't seen really that good of aggro juggling since Season 3 Worlds, whenever there was that 12-minute inhibitor. So
yeah.
Solar Flare being dodged up. Quan's going to be targeted out and destroyed. Zhenlong picks up a kill for his troubles now, 27-14. And And YG looking for this tier 2 mid lane turret. And it's just going to be surrendered by LGD. So LGD pretty much fighting a brick wall right now. And hopefully their strongest efforts can break a crack.
I wanted to mention this before, but I didn't get to because Jian-gun was making sick plays as usual on the Yasuo. But the funniest thing about this situation is that when number 1 actually decides to split push, then 17 feels the need to follow, right? So that means that the only source of reliable wave clear really comes from XQ's Lucian, and a good win wall from the Yasuo basically denies anything that XQ wants to do in terms of trying to clear out the enemy minions. So YG, despite the fact that they don't have a lot of ranged threats on their team, wow, what a nice knockback. I mean, despite the fact that YG doesn't have a lot of ranged threats on their team, their tower siege is still, not as bad as it could be considering the situation. Just, they have so many split pushing threats, and we're going to see another fight here, definitely.
Gotta be. I mean, just think.
Solar
Flare on a several. Zenith Blade as well. Knockup's going to have it just a little bit of time, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
That is going to be the Zonius along the backside, but the Knockup's even still. Quan picks up the answer from the back. That's going to be Lucian picking up one. The calling channel out as well. And now XQ trying to aggress. And look at this one. Yinfu is just on the run. And will he be able to make it out? Could LGD turn this one all the way on its head again? I mean, don't lose anybody. Pick up a 1-0, 2-0 engagement, as a matter of fact. And now number 1 and Jinlong both still in the enemy jungle. Could get caught out of position here. It is a big advantage for LGD, so they will be able to force them out there. The Cocoon does just go a little bit short. And 27-16, the minions are just pushing away right now. That Nexus turret's getting obliterated very quickly, and they've got to get back to save it. Will it be able to stay alive? And it looks like just barely. Is it going to go? It does stay just chugging. Minimal HP.
Yeah, but because YG was able to see all of the members dealing with that wave in the bottom lane, they're able to freely get this turret right here. I mean, sorry, the Baron right here. Actually, the Tristana didn't build a. So two Blade of the Rune Kings on the side of Young Glory. They take down Baron so quickly. Just, I mean, again, nice play coming out of YG. But, another fight like that, and they might start tilting again. We said before that the reason why, YG lost the last game, despite having such fantastic leads in the early game, was because of Yansir's really awkward and poor engages that the rest of his team couldn't follow up. Right there, I mean, just PYL tanked so many skill shots with the Unbreakable, and because Yansir, since his crowd control was interrupted by a really nice Unbreakable Fissure from coming out from PYL, sorry, just the crowd control wasn't chained correctly, and that's why YG wasn't able to engage. Hopefully that's not a problem. I honestly think that they should just think about, after taking the dragon that number 1 seems to be completing right now, they should just go towards this bottom inhibitor and take that, because that's a clear objective on the map right now, and YG as a team that has trouble sieging turrets and often throws while sieging turrets, they should get the easiest objectives first.
So now it's potentially 2-2-1, maybe. I mean, you're expecting Answer now to go back to the top, so it would be a 3-2 split push. And, I mean, YG's got the resources right now. They've got good waves of minions. The inhibitor's back up in the bottom lane, so that is most certainly going to be their big objective that they want to pressure. They've gotten the Dragon. They've gotten the Baron. They have control on pretty much everything. So
I mean, this is a 20,000 gold lead, though. Like, the last game, okay, maybe, what was it? I think
it was 8 to 10,000.
Yeah, it was 8 to 10,000, right? So that, okay, maybe I can accept how some team fights might swing in LGD's way. But this is a 20K gold lead, baby. I don't think that YG is going anywhere. Again, the problems are that the members of Young Glory don't have the best sources of siege on their team. What they have to do is this is the correct answer. They're posturing number 1 towards the bottom lane so he can just continually split push all day, maybe even take down a Nexus turret at this point. So this is really what Young Glory has to do, and if LGD is smart, they might take this time to engage on the members of Young Glory.
So now number 1 is splitting on his own in the bottom lane. They force 17 down as well. Windwall being used up to try and kind of zone just a little bit, but number 1 just kicking away at this inhibitor turret. There's really not a lot that 17 can do.
Yeah, level 17 to level 15 as well. Just there's nothing that number 17 can do. And YG is correct. You know, they should be pushing this turret all day as fast as they can, because I mean, you know, your top laner is going to be your top laner who doesn't even have, you know, his full item build yet. So we're not in the Cloud9 curse situation yet, but your top laner doesn't have full items yet. He's still occupying at least 1 or 2 members of the side of LGD. So this is your chance to to unlock another door for you and to make sure that you close out this game very cleanly. So hopefully that's what LGD decides to do. I'm sorry, what Young Glory decides to do.
Number 1's looking to go for the mid lane now, so keeping Wayless at bay, and they might try to go in on him. He might just tank a little bit of damage to open thing up for YG, but even still, kind of manages to take it out. So the turret's very, very low, and there could be a potential engage just lurking in the depths right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, definitely. And number 1 is pushing the mid lane as well. And you could see what YG is doing fairly well. They keep juggling the damage. They keep juggling the turret aggro. Whenever someone gets 3 procs on that Braum passive, they switch that champion out. They switch that champion out of the rotation and let another player tank the damage. You know, Jiangun is using his wind wall very well, so the tower is probably either going to go down here or we're going to see a fight very quickly.
It is getting melted away. I mean, just loads of damage right now. The turret goes down, and it is courtesy of Zenlong. He's going to play it up and in. Lands onto Quan Soyflare as well. Look at this one. He's just to the backside 100%. Zenlong just kicking away at everybody. That's going to be the last breath combination onto several, but will it be enough? PYL goes down, and here we go. Wayless, the target in question. The calling channel out, and YG very, very low. Wayless trying to clean up, but he will be going down in the process. A jump back in from number 1, picking it up. 17 down for the count. Trist kicking it hardcore. Inhibitor's going to be falling down. 5 down for 2. And this will be YG now. Splitting the set 1-1. Picking up a circuit point for themselves. Nexus turret falling. And YG, after 2 leads, you know, they finally close out game 2.
What a really encouraging set. And just beautiful mechanical play from Zenlong. He's able to position himself perfectly outside of the, outside of the ring of enemy LGD players and just completely destroy the members of LGD. You know, I think that most of the damage that he tanked came from the turrets, because there were quite a few occasions where he would use the rocket jump to dive in and then try to obliterate the remainder of the LGD team. So well played by both Tiangun and Zenlong. I mean, they played their champions beautifully. Again, you know, and this is what, honestly, this is what should have happened in terms of analysis. This is what should have happened in the first game. Zenlong just, as long as the ward control is good, as long as the vision control is good, then with, you know, they had a 20k gold lead, but with even a 10,000 gold lead, nothing can go wrong with you, especially if you do have those late game carries. So, and in terms of talking about LGD, I mean, you know, good on them to come back for the first game, but the fact that they're seemingly unable to apply early game pressure is worrisome. And they should really, you know, take this game in stride and try to look at the film and say, what could we as a team have done better to push, you know, to universally put pressure on every single part of the map. And that's what LGD didn't do well, and that's what they had to do, given the fact that Young Glory's team compositions in both game 1 and 2 scaled so well. So, you know, LGD got off with a lucky win in the first game, but you know, if they don't solve these problems, then it might eventually become a really glaring flaw. So hopefully we see LGD solve their problems ahead of their next set in the LPL.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that actually does it for the first set of the night. However, we do have an hour-long break before the second, so it is going to be the second episode of Finger Trap, which is a talk show right now with guest panel, analyst desk, and all that good stuff to discuss all of the action with LPL and get some analysis, get some expertise on what is going on in the scene. So we're going to take a quick break in the action, play one song, and we will be right back with The Finger Trap, Episode 2.
Yo, listen up, here's the story about a little guy that lives in a blue world. And all day and all night and everything he sees is just blue. Like him, inside and outside. Blew his house with the blue little window. window and a blue Corvette, and everything is blue for him and himself and everybody around, 'cause he ain't got nobody to listen. I'm blue, I've been